and Nila S. Nair for presenting their analysis on higher education and skill development and digital currency Indian perception. Over to the presenters.
Good evening, everyone. So we actually have two groups divided within the four of us. So how will the time allocation be between the both?
Biju, you can tell how much time they'll get.
Sir, actually 25 minutes was allotted, but research scholars have taken more than 45 minutes.
You can take 15 minutes per group. 2 പേര് 15 minutes, another 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the topic which we were going to indulge in was the digital currency, the Indian perspective. But in fact, the earlier group have taken almost all of the areas covered, but we are trying to move it on to a more deeper perspective of crypto as well as of CBDCs. So is my video being shared? I mean the presentation?
It's not visible. Not visible.
Share it again.
From emphasis on digital banking, facilitation of payment platforms, and better land record digitization, to recognizing virtual assets as a taxable asset class, issuance of the digital currency, e-passports, and the digital university, the budget has put forward initiatives aiming to build up the digital capacity of the country and thereby reducing the digital divide. The digital evolution over the last decade has brought in digital alternatives infiltrating the business, trade, and financial domain. And this year, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has revealed two of the most anticipated moves, which is the inclusion of virtual assets into the country's regulatory framework and the launch of the central bank digital currency issued by the RBI. I think everyone present here would have surely come across the term cryptocurrency, especially for the past 3 to 4 years. And I personally know some of the crypto investors in here. So, cryptocurrency, underpinned by the radical blockchain protocol architecture, is a digital currency with the potential to function as a medium of exchange. And especially over the past decade, the market for cryptocurrency-based assets, or more commonly the Bitcoin and Ethereum, has exhibited extraordinary capital inflow. And India has reported to have the second highest number of crypto users around the world. And in a very latest statistics, we have about 20 million investors in the crypto market. So this growing cryptocurrency paradigm and its potential ramifications has constantly been under the regulatory eye, and investors too have been in constant anticipation over its regulatory prospects. So the 2022 budget initiated quite a positive stride, in fact, by designating the virtual assets under circulation in the country under the term of virtual digital assets. They were also deemed as a separate financial virtual asset class rather than the existing traditional asset classes. The budget was quite revolutionary actually in this digital line, with India becoming one of the very few countries to tax digital assets like cryptocurrency and the NFTs. The government has included the transfer of these virtual digital assets and the 30% tax slab. Furthermore, it outlined that all crypto transfers above a certain monetary threshold will be liable for a 1% TDS deduction. It also highlights that losses on these crypto assets cannot be offset against other income sources. So I know we have already discussed it previously, but this topic of cryptocurrency and the speculations over and against it has been more and more. There have been many positive as well as many negative perspectives and concepts with even our chief economist and Geeta Gopinath or our ex-RBI governors or our current RBI governors saying all those the crypto market as a threat to the existing financial system. But however, we have seen the government take a move by bringing the cryptocurrency market under the taxation regime. The reason why we began with the concept of cryptocurrencies was it was the key reasons for the initiation of the idea of a digitally formatted currency. The launch of an RBI-regulated digital rupee has been in speculation for quite some time now, more precisely from about 2019. And this was primarily due to the exponential rate of public participation in the trade of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum. The hollow and vague underlying values of such virtual currencies were constantly viewed as threats that could distort the financial stability of the country. And now, with this continuing spike in the usage and trade of private virtual currencies, India too decided to join the virtual currency bandwagon with their own digital currency. So the digital currency proposed, or the digital rupee, is to be issued using blockchain and other technologies with the aim of giving a big boost to the digital economy and leading to a more efficient and cheaper currency management system. We have seen that Nirmala Sitharaman further asserted in a later press conference that the digital rupee will alone be considered as a legal tender and will be treated differently than digital assets and the existing cryptocurrencies. It is also proposed to amend the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934 to include the CBDC regarding its designation as bank notes. So once the RBI starts regulating the digital rupee, common people like us would be able to use it just like we use the services of NEFT or IMPs or digital wallets. So since currently we have no comprehensive exposition on this idea, as well as no previous scenarios to compare with, we will look into the need, perceptions, and implications of such a digital regulated currency in the Indian scenario. Now about what and why the need of a central bank digital currency. So as mentioned earlier, the concept of CBDC has been attracting interest across the globe, with most central banks actively exploring and examining the CBDC. A 2021 BIS survey of central banks found that 86% were actively researching the potential for CBDCs and 14% were deploying pilot projects. The RBI had in fact talked about CBDC in its report on currency and finance 2020-21, exploring the case for issuing and operationalizing a CBDC. So it defines CBDC as the legal tender issued by a central bank in digital form. It is same as a fiat currency, which is the rupee notes that we now use, and is exchangeable one-to-one with the fiat currency. Hello?
And proceed, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, so it is the same as the fiat currency as well as exchangeable one-to-one with the fiat currency. So it is just the only difference is the physical note is being turned into a digital nature. A digital rupee will be fundamentally different from private cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum because it will be backed by the state and will have an intrinsic value. It acts as a safe, government-backed and ultimate medium of settlement by eliminating all claims that occur during a transaction. So CBDC is actually expected to bring in an extremely positive shift in financial transactions. The launch of CBDC underscores India's preeminence in the domain of digitized finance. So this is where we move on to why do we need such a central bank digital currency when we have enough of digital payment systems and growing digital banking systems. Where comes the need for such a digital currency? So it is basically to catalyze the growth of the blockchain infrastructure in country, thereby India being able to stay at the forefront of the paradigm. Moreover, jurisdictions not alone India but around the world have been facing the dwindling usage of paper currency and inefficient physical usage systems. Introduction of the CBDC has the potential to provide significant benefits such as reduced dependency on cash, higher seniorage due to lower transaction cost, and reduced settlement risk. The operations will be cost-effective in terms of global payments, enabling the disbursements to take place on real-time basis, further reducing the timelines associated with international trade operations. This would possibly lead to a more robust, efficient, trusted, and convenient alternative to cash. So, about how is the CBDC being actually perceived, or how does industry stakeholders take in this case? Actually, surprisingly, there has been a welcoming attitude by even the crypto holders or the crypto exchanges, especially towards the CBDC. So even with limited information currently at hand, this is what we know of the perceptions of the various exchange information, the crypto exchanges. For example, Ashish Singhal, who is the CEO of cryptocurrency exchange CoinSwitchCuber, has asserted that the arrival of the new currency would accelerate digitization in the country. Similarly, the Vazirix CEO Niraj Shetty also found that the blockchain-powered digital rupee is a phenomenal introduction and shows that, or he interprets it to be the path to legitimizing the crypto sector. Similarly, and not alone the crypto exchanges, we even see the Payments Council of India chairman Vishwas Patel being having a positive outlook over the CBDCs and expects it to trigger a wave of preparatory activity among retail payment providers. Harshal Mathur, the CEO and co-founder of payment gateway Razorpay, also feels that it would help financial and fiscal efforts reduced in the money management process. So as of the current situation, with the amount of information we have got only from the budget and the later press conference, this is how this concept has been taken. But certainly there are a wide number of considerations, and it is not always the positive side as we see here. So the considerations to be made, or as per what I have read through the various articles and the various opinions of industry heads, one main factor is about. Hello.
Yes, you are audible.
Oh, okay, sir. I thought someone was saying in between. I'm sorry. Okay, so the budget actually affirms India's conviction to forge a progressive and technology-driven future. Digital currency as such is an innovative notion, but if this concept is brought only with the objective of reducing or clearing out the existing virtual currencies, that cannot actually be that doesn't have a chance to stand. This is because decentralization and a democratic approach with the option of a free market space is the crux of the usage and trade of cryptocurrencies. So with the central government actually coming into picture, that is quite violated. However, what we can perceive from it is only with a proper backed up facility or backed up assets can we actually put in our faith or have a confidence in using a particular asset such as cryptocurrency for all our daily needs or as a payment mechanism. Then again, the effects on the existing banking system of the introduction of CBDCs is something which is of very much prevalence. CBDCs have the potential to affect the behavior of the general public and the Indian economy at large. So if the demand for CBDCs exceeds supply and they are primarily issued via the banking system, additional liquidity may be required to compensate for the currency leakage from the banking system. So this is something which has to be more critically looked into so that it doesn't disrupt the existing banking system we have. Then again, as in the earlier presentations, we have seen the technological readiness is a portion which is mainly dependent. That is, the development of a population-scale digital currency system depends on the advancement of high-speed internet and telecommunication networks and the availability of adequate technology for storing and transacting in this digital rupee. So with that technology-based CBDC implementation, there is a chance that it may be more complicated than now because we still have the rural areas not even having the mere access to payment mechanisms or banking facilities, and the introduction of such technologically complex format of currency can be quite the technological readiness can be quite interesting. And the last point that I may like to note is about the user privacy and CBDCs. So again, with technology coming into the play, there is again more and more complexities into the working of the digital currency system. The investors must be assured that their privacy over individual identity, transaction history, their transaction metadata are not misused or being constantly checked. So these are some things that I think we have to take into notice. We cannot say anything for sure until we have a proper bill or we have a proper note about this being told in detail. But I think these would be the considerations they too would include in their report. The launch of a digital rupee using blockchain, I think would familiarize Indians with the benefits and efficiency of virtual currency, and the use of blockchain and the multitudes of innovation and employment opportunities. Digital rupee can have many use case scenarios in real world, such as programmable payments for subsidies and by financial institutions for faster lending and payments. So as the usage of digital rupee increases, it could also benefit in things like cross-border remittances and creating an environment where faster real-time remittance occurs. So what I feel is, with a phased approach and implementation, an India's state-of-the-art CBDC promises to provide a streamlined and financially inclusive monetary system. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Anne Susan. Yeah. I think the other two from the group have to present. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good evening.
Sir, I am not able to share my screen.
What happened?
Sir, it's disabled.
Teachers and colleagues present here. As Barack Obama said, a budget is more than just a series of numbers on a page. It is an embodiment of our values. Today, myself, Ananya, and Archa is here to make a presentation on Budget 2022 and analysis on higher education and skill development. I'll be presenting the factual aspects and Archa will be presenting the analysis part. Higher education and skill development. Skills and knowledge are the driving forces of economic growth and social development for any country. Every country develops its own system of education to express and promote its unique social, cultural, economic identity, besides meeting the challenges of time to leverage the existing potential opportunities. Skill development has been considered one of the critical aspects for job creation in India. India has unique demographic advantage with more than 60% of the population is in young age group. But in order to get dividend from such large workforce, employability has to be improved. As per the current statistics, only 10% of the fresh graduates are employable and the rest of the 90% lack skills required for eligible to be hired by the corporate. India's GDP is growing at a rate of around 6 to 8%, but the job creation is not catching up with it. Now, we can move on to the budget highlights of 2022. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman made several announcements for the education sector budget 2022-23. First one is the universalization of quality education. One class, one TV channel program of PM eVidya will be expanded from 12 to 200 TV channels. It will enable all the states to provide supplementary education in regional languages for class 1 to 12. Arsha, could you please change the slide?
I have already changed. Is it not visible?
Oh, the next one. Yeah, okay. In vocational courses, it's fine. In vocational courses, to promote critical thinking skills and give space for creativity, 750 virtual labs in science and mathematics and 75 skilling labs for stimulated learning environment. High quality e-content in all spoken languages will be developed for delivery through internet, mobile phones, TV, and radio through digital teachers. A competitive mechanism for development of quality e-content by the teachers will be set up to empower and equip them with digital tools of teaching and facilitate better learning outcome. Next is Digital University. Digital University is established to provide access to students across the country for world-class quality universal education with personalized learning experience at their doorsteps. This will be made available in different Indian languages and ICT formats. The university will be built on a networked hub and spoke model with the hub building cutting-edge ICT expertise. Next is skill development. The National Skill Qualification Framework will be aligned with dynamic industry needs. Digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood, the Desh Stack and e-portal will be launched. This will aim to empower citizens to skill, reskill, or upskill through online training. Startups will be promoted to facilitate drone Shakti through varied applications and for drone as a service. Next, moving on to the main areas of budget allocation for higher education and skill development. But budget allocation for 2022-2023 for Department of School Education and Literacy is rupees 63,449.37 crore. For scheme allocation, it is rupees 51,052.37 crore, and for the non-scheme allocation, it is rupees
Slides
12,397
coordination
crore.
is not going along with that. Slide കാണിക്കുന്നതും. Yeah, now it is okay. Yeah.
Sir, actually, I am changing, but due to some network issues, it's happening so.
Okay.
And for the previous year, it was rupees 54,873.66 crore, and the revised budget is rupees 51,969.95 crore. The budget allocation for 2022-2023 for the Department of Higher Education is rupees 40,828.35 crore. For scheme allocation, it is rupees 7,454.97 crore, and for non-scheme allocation, it is rupees 33,373.38 crore. And for previous year, it was rupees 38,350.65 crore, and the revised budget is rupees 36,031.57 crore.
Thank you, Ananya. Now we'll be moving on to the budget analysis part. So first we'll make a comparison with that of the previous year. So in the financial year 2021-22, the total education budget allotted was 93,224 crore, where the revised estimate was 88,002 crore and the actual expenditure stood at 84,290 crore. So this year the total education budget, it is 1,04,278 crore with a rise of 11,054 crore from the previous year's budget. So the allocation for National Education Mission has been increased to rupees 39,553 crore, where it was rupees 34,300 crore for the previous year, and the revised budget for previous year stood at 30,796 crore. The Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan has been allotted rupees 37,383.36 crore, which is 6,333.36 crore higher than the previous financial year budget allotment of rupees 31,050 crore. The budget allotted for Kendra Vidyalaya and Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya has been increased to 7,650 crore and 4,115 crores respectively. The budget for India e-learning program, including the PME Vidya scheme, was lowered to rupees 420.01 crore from 645.61 crore, and the allocation of grants to central universities has been risen from 7,643.26 crore to 9,420 crore. The outlay for research and innovation has been lowered from rupees to 237.40 crore to 218.66 crore. So now we will move on to certain findings of this area. The education budget 2022 was increased by 11.86% from the previous year. It focused mainly on digital education, creation of digital universities, job creation, agricultural university, skill development programs, etc. Due to the outbreak of pandemic, learning loss was witnessed in the education sector, and in order to overcome this, digital education has given more importance. Reports have shown that one class, one TV channel from 12 to 200 TV channels to provide supplementary education will not be sufficient. The budget mentioned the launch of a worldwide digital university, which might be the answer to the long prevailing gaps in higher education system, which will be a probable solution to the difficulty of accessing higher education in country where 65% of the youth population resides in rural area. The biggest challenge that our youth is facing today is the lack.
Continue.
Hello? Okay. The biggest challenge that our youth faces is the lack of demand skills. The reason for this is that our higher education has not been able to adapt to the changing industry requirements. Thus, the launch of digital dish e-portal for skilling, upskilling, and reskilling will be a key to adapt to the shifting of. So some disturbances are coming.
Please unmute some of the participants. Talking, please mute. Yes, continue. Asha, you can continue.
Adapting to the shift. Yes, sir, I'm continuing. Okay, the skilling initiative announced in the budget will explore the untapped potential among the Indian youth, boosting their employability with dynamic industry needs. The digital ecosystem for skilling and livelihood e-portal provides ease for students to enable the discovery of relevant jobs, entrepreneurial opportunities among citizens. Setting up virtual labs and skilling e-labs will be valuable in developing critical thinking among students. Access to high quality e-content can help enhance the quality of education received by students. The National Tele Mental Health Program in Budget 2022 as recognition of how the COVID-19 pandemic affected not only the physical health but also the mental health of people of all ages, including students. The program will include a network of 23 tele mental health centers of excellence. NIMHANS will be the nodal center, and IIT Bangalore will provide technical support for the mental health program. The budget has also opened a new route for foreign universities to set up campus in India through GIFT IFSC in Gujarat, where there will be not encumbered by domestic regulations. World-class foreign universities and institutions will be allowed to operate in the GIFT city and freedom from domestic regulations. They will be permitted to offer courses in financial management, fintech, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics as per the announcement in the budget. So that's all for presentation. Thank you. Sir.
Yeah, Simon sir is there? Yeah. Snehit, please unmute Simon sir. Snehit? I think, yeah, the meeting was locked, everyone.
Yeah, okay. I was muted, that's why I could not speak. So that's the presentation. In this presentation, I think normally we have seen the central bank digital currency was Anne Susan nicely presented that with the visuals also. And then that was followed by the presentation on the national skill framework as well as the higher education framework. Up education sector on the change, the challenges. In the first presentation talked about already we saw the digital currency, the issues we saw earlier, and now Anne Susan rightly said, the budget is saying that we'll have a central bank digital currency, which will be going along parallel with the your legal tender money, but crypto is not moving to that. And what are the challenges? The basic challenges, which she rightly pointed out, was we still need concrete policies, regulations, and amendments to see how this actually will move forward. And the positive negatives was rightly pointed out. And the other one talked about the skill framework, where skilling is so very important in the sectors. So, these are the things which we saw in the presentation. So now anybody wants to raise, I think we have maybe five minutes. We can, anything which anybody wants to add to the presentation, you can do that now. Arkengla, any questions on anything that?
So I have something to say.
Yeah.
Actually, the last presentation we had a discussion on, as Simon sir rightly told about the budget നടത്തിയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാത്ത കാര്യങ്ങൾ. There was a lot of things. In 2016, there was an announcement by bullet train, and it is not yet implemented. And 2020, there was an announcement of proposed by the same finance minister, starting of nudge unit, and it is not announced. And the 2019 budget, there was a proposal for starting up a social stock exchanges. That was not announced. So this is not new. There are announcements, but it is not implemented. And I think the CBDC, central bank backed digital currency, I think government will be struggling to implement this decision because of there are some regulatory pressures and there is a need of a lot of amendment. And I think we need to amend Information Technology Act, and we need to amend Payment and Settlement Act, and we need to amend Coinage Act. So these three acts are to be amended. So then only the CBDC will be practical. And also the situation in which the government was tried to implement a new currency because the government was fighting against the cryptocurrency. In fact, because a country, the world crypto transactions or trade, more than 65% people coming from India, they are dealing with the cryptos. And there was a lot of scams and scandals are also happening in crypto, and the government is struggling to regulate this system. So the government comes up with some regulations. That means the taxation, TDS, and so everything that put pressure on the crypto market. But in fact, this is treated as a positive by the crypto market, because the thing is, the government going to implement crypto taxation. That means the money is treated as legal. So any person can, deal with crypto. The money income derived from that source is treated as legal. But the finance minister stressed the point that it is not regulated. So that the people, many people that in earlier we had only youngsters, they were invested in cryptos, but now we a lot of means matured investors coming into the field of crypto because it is treated as legal as per the budget. And also the thing is the evidence are also there, because there are crypto platforms, these coins, Switchcuber, crypto exchanges. A lot of people started downloading these applications and installing, because they are also started to trade. But at the same time, as rightly explained by Anne, is because of this taxation and all, some existing investors may leave from this crypto market to small caps or other highly income generating investment avenues like NFT tokens and all. But in fact, the thing is, these kind of NFT tokens and cryptos, there's some kind of hyping effect. We can check out in future how this kind of investment will survive. Okay. How can so its platform is open to all. Again, and Susan Thomas can comment on this, my views.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, I have to make a point. When the education sector, the government is not accepting the scars created by the COVID-19, and the policies and also the programs and the amount and allocation by the government is a meager increase. It is not significant and it is not adequate for having a new education policy to be implemented in the future. And that way, research and development area, the contribution is meager when compared with other countries like China and America and all. We are not making appropriate allocation for this sector. and also struggling, and the education sector, especially the state universities, are struggling, and also the central universities, due to lack of fund, and also there are certain problems as well as the investment is very much low in these areas, and the government has not addressed these kind of issues in this budget, and I don't know how or when they will accept these drawbacks or these situations, and they will clearly make allocation adequately for this sector. And I think it is a drawback, major drawback, as far as India and the youth is concerned. So I think that area is to be given more attention, and I hope in future the government will provide adequate allocation for this sector, especially education and skilling.
Yeah, so ഈ പറഞ്ഞ രണ്ട് views. Anybody else wants to say?
What Arun told is very correct, sir, because especially in the area of, in the introductory part itself, in the budget, they have mentioned that only 10% of the graduates are capable of finding out jobs in corporate sector. But at the same time, for the skilling initiatives and all, they have reduced the allocation on one side, and for research and innovation also, they have reduced the allocation. That is a major problem. And there was a Skilling India program, and that also not achieved that kind of a success. That problem is also there. So, and another thing is, in the budget, there was a mention about digital university. You have not mentioned anything about that digital university in your presentation. And another thing is, there is an unbalanced approach is also there, because they have mentioned in the budget that they are going to open some foreign universities in Gujarat and all without any regulations, external control and all. So that kind of unregulated mechanisms are also get promoted. In what way that will get influence our higher education sector is also a question there.
So, Anne Susan or Asha, you would like to respond? ഇവിടെ ഈ പറഞ്ഞതിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ആഡ് ഓൺ ചെയ്യാനോ ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാനോ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു ക്യാൻ ഡു ദാറ്റ് നൗ. ഇവിടെ പറഞ്ഞ ബിജു എവി സാറ്, ബിജു ടി സാറും അരുണും പറഞ്ഞ റെസ്പോൺസിനോട് ഇഫ് യു ഹാവ് സംതിങ് ടു ആഡ്. ക്വിക്ക്, കാരണം സമയം നമുക്ക് പോവാണ്. നമുക്ക് പ്രശ്നം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ നമ്മുടെ പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേഷൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങ് കുത്തനെ ഇടിയും ഈ ടൈം കഴിഞ്ഞ്. ദാറ്റ്സ് വൈ അറിയുക. പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
I need a clarification. Is the digital currency is a regulatory measure against cryptocurrency?
അല്ല, I don't think it is like that. ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവർ പറയുന്നത് ഇറ്റ് കനോട്ട്, ക്രിപ്റ്റോ കറൻസി കനോട്ട് ആക്ട് ആസ് എ ലീഗൽ ടെൻഡർ എന്നുള്ള ലെവലിലേക്ക് they are not trying to bring that. They are trying to promote it as ഒരു holding for non-fungibles, and മറ്റതിന് the central bank digital currency will be legal tender. ആ ഒരു ഫോമിലാണ് ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയത് on the budget. Am I right? Those who have presented?
Yes.
Yes, sir. That's how exactly Nirmala Sitharaman has said in the later press conference. അവർ എടുത്തു പറഞ്ഞിരുന്നു, what central bank publishes or what they introduces alone is what is considered the legal tender. ബാക്കി അതിൽ മേലുള്ള വേറെ എന്ത് വെർച്വൽ കറൻസീസ്, അത് എന്ത് ഡിജിറ്റൽ അസറ്റ്സോ വെർച്വൽ കറൻസീസോ ആവട്ടെ, they fall into a different asset class called the virtual digital assets, and is considered only as asset and not as a legal tender or mode whereby we can use for payment or such things. Yes.
Thank you for your presentations. Anybody else wants to add something?
Sir, Biju sir പറഞ്ഞു digital university mention ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല, and actually we have mentioned about it.
I think I saw that. Yeah, ഒരു സ്ഥലത്ത് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്, but yeah.
Yes.
Anything else?
Presentation എവിടെ ഡിജിറ്റൽ കറൻസി ക്രിപ്റ്റോസിനെ റെഗുലേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഒരു ഇത് വന്നതായി തോന്നി, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് പറഞ്ഞത്.
അല്ല, രണ്ട് ഫോർമാറ്റിലൂടെ കൊണ്ടുവരാനാണ് അതിനകത്ത് ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയോടത്തോളം. വൺ ഇസ് ടോക്കിംഗ് അബൌട്ട് ഹോൾഡിംഗ്, അതിന്റെ ഹോൾഡിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റത്തിലേക്ക് വരിക. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞ് നമ്മൾ രണ്ടാമത്തെ ദിവസം പത്രത്തിൽ വന്ന ഒരു അനാലിസിസ് എക്കണോമിക് അഡ്വൈസർ, അതിനകത്ത് പറഞ്ഞു ഹി ഹാസ് മെയ്ഡ് ദാറ്റ് വെരി ക്ലിയർ. ഇതിൽ ഫർദർ പോളിസീസ് ഹാവ് ടു കം, ഫർദർ റെഗുലേഷൻസ് ഹാവ് ടു കം, ഓൺലി ദെൻ വി ക്യാൻ ഗെറ്റ് എ ഫൈനൽ പിക്ചർ. ബട്ട് അവരുടെ ഐഡിയ ഇസ് വൺ ടു ബി ഹോൾഡിംഗ് ഫോമിൽ ക്രിപ്റ്റോ, ലീഗൽ ടെൻഡറിൽ സെൻട്രൽ ബാങ്ക് ഡിജിറ്റൽ കറൻസി ആ രീതിയിലാണ് അവർ അതിനകത്ത് പ്രൊജക്ട് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്.
ഈ ഡിജിറ്റൽ കറൻസിക്ക് ഒരു യുണീക് നമ്പർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും. യുണീക് നമ്പർ വെച്ച് നമ്മുടെ ഫിയറ്റ് കറൻസി പോലെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ കറൻസി പോലെ ഓരോ കറൻസിക്കും യുണീക് നമ്പർ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കും.
ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി അത് കാണുമായിരിക്കും.
ആ ഒരു വാല്യൂല്, അതായത് നമുക്ക് മറ്റൊരു വിർച്വൽ ഡിജിറ്റൽ അസറ്റിൽ നമ്മൾ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന വാല്യൂയിലുള്ള അതൊന്ന ചേഞ്ച് കൊണ്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഗുണം നമുക്ക് ഈ ഡിജിറ്റൽ കറൻസിയിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരിക്കില്ല എന്ന യുണീക് നമ്പർ തന്നെ വ്യക്തമാക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. അതാണ് ഓക്കെ.
ഒരു പോയിന്റ് കൊടുത്തു. അതിൽ ബാങ്ക്സിന് വരുന്ന ഒരു ത്രെറ്റ് ഇവിടെ പലരും അണ്ടർ എസ്റ്റിമേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ ബാങ്കിന് ഈ ഒരു ഡിജിറ്റൽ കറൻസി വരുമ്പോൾ ഉണ്ടാവുന്ന ഒരു ത്രെറ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്
അല്ല, അതെനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് സുനിതയുടെ പ്രസന്റേഷനിൽ ഷി ഹാഡ് സെഡ് ദാറ്റ് ഇപ്പൊ ഈ ബാങ്കിന്റെ പഴയ രീതിയിലുള്ള കറൻസി എന്നുള്ള വിഡ്രോ ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഡിജിറ്റൽ ഇതിലേക്ക് പോകുമ്പോൾ ബാങ്ക് ഒരു ത്രെറ്റ് ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ദാറ്റ് ഐ തിങ്ക് ഒരു സ്ലൈഡിൽ ഷി ഹാഡ് പോയിന്റഡ് ഔട്ട്. രണ്ട് വാസ് ദേർ, ബട്ട്
ഫർദർ ഡിസ്കഷൻ നമുക്ക് ശരിക്കും നമുക്ക് എക്സ്പേർട്ടിനോട് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ആ ഒരു സാധനം
വേണം എക്സ്പേർട്ടിന്റെ അടുത്ത് വി ഹാവ് ടു. ഇതിനകത്ത് വാട്ട് എവർ യു ഫീൽ, ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ നമ്മുടെ വ്യൂസ് വായിച്ചു കേട്ടതിന്റെ അടിസ്ഥാനത്തിൽ മാത്രം പറയുന്നത്. which you would like to talk about in further detail, we can take it up. Okay, just to conclude on the rendu കാര്യങ്ങൾ I would like to say. Anyway, once again, sincere thanks to both the groups for their presentations, specifically Kavya, Gopika, Sunita, Arun for the first group, and Susan, Ananya and Asha for your presentation, and I hope others might have supported them in their presentation. And so you have done that work well, in the sense that in compiling data and all that, you have put your efforts. So congrats for that, and